How's it going, everyone? Today we have got a
Jaguar XKR 4.2.
So yeah, let's get into it. So what are the specs of this Jaguar?
It's a 4.2 V8 quad cam VTEC with a supercharger putting out 420 horsepower, driving the back wheels through a 6-speed floppy pedal ZF.
Holy moly!
Even with traction control, she brakes free.
That's a good noise. That's a really good noise. So what is the spec configuration of the Jaguar?
She's obviously black, she has white leather interior, and she is quite rare because she's the walnut dashboard, and she has the optional 20-inch rims.
I do like that walnut interior. It definitely just adds something. It's very Jaguar, you know.
Exactly, it makes it a Jaguar. It really does. I do not like the carbon, and I do not like the polished aluminium. When I saw this, it's just, yeah, that's the one. My wife actually, whenever we went for it, she wanted to go and look at it. I didn't. I had an XK 4-litre before, and whenever we went to view it, the guy had it sitting ticking over, and as we walked up, we hadn't even seen the car, and my wife could hear it and just said, "Buy it." The previous XK8 is it's a different car. It's a gentleman's car.
Yeah.
It's silent. You just can't hear it. You can't hear the V8 at all. The definition of a nice car to me is when you get out and you're walking away from it and you press the lock button, you always look back.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah. That to me is the sign. You know, it's a nice car. Yeah.
Now, since this is the supercharged version, what do you like about it compared to the non-supercharged version?
The R badge.
Fair.
No, it's the supercharged version. I've never stood outside hearing it rev, so I've never heard the supercharger. But the sound of the V8 with the quad pipes and the exhaust valve is just epic. I just love it. The ordinary 4.2, I wouldn't be that keen on. Though I'd be interested in a convertible. But the one I think I would go for if I was going for normal would be the 5-litre naturally aspirated.
Yeah.
You know, it's nearly the same power as this, but it's, you know, a lot simpler.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the non-supercharged 4.2, that is just about 350 horsepower. It's like 100 horsepower less or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's about 70 horsepower less, but it's still, you know. But, you know, if 350 horses isn't enough for you, there's something wrong with you. You know, but...
Oh, that's amazing. What would be the difference between the 4.2 and the 5-litre?
The 5-litre is the derivation of this engine. It's the next generation. Instead of producing 420, it's 508 in standard trim, though it can go up to about 540, 550 in the S. But it's a different driving type of engine. The engine feels totally different. This is a GT car, and the engine is so much more drivable. Yes, the 5-litre is far more brake horsepower. It's a lunatic machine, but that scares the shit out of me anyway. You know, so there's no need for it.
Yeah.
The 4.2 was a more proven engine at the time. The 5-litres now, you know, they're discontinuing it, but it turned out to be a fantastic engine as well. The best I've heard it described was by your counterparts, a guy with beards, did a test drive on both cars, the 4.2 and the 5-litre, and he says, to simplify it, he says the 5-litre wants to be a Bentley GT and the 4.2 wants to be an Aston.
Yeah, no, that's a very good way of...
And that's the best I've ever heard it described. I prefer the 4.2. It's personal taste, and I prefer the look of the front end. The front end's different than the 5-litre.
Now I see why you like this car. Now I got it.
It's just a lovely thing to drive, and as I say, I just think it's one of the best looking cars you can buy.
Yeah.
I think the DB9's nicer, but the DB9 has engine issues this doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once you mention Aston Martin, parts prices just get through the roof, you know. Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
So what is the history on this Jaguar?
It's a Jaguar approved. I bought it 7 years ago in 2018. That was one owner before me, and it's pretty tidy.
How reliable have you found it?
Basically, the car's reliable. It's the usual Jaguar problems with electronics. Can't sit for more than 2 weeks without a charger on it or flans the battery. The computers never turn off on them. The Range Rover's the same. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
I've had to replace the headlights on it, which was absolutely extortionate because of their xenons, and they melted the wiring inside the active headlight. And I've just had to do the ABS rings in the back of it. But apart from that, and of course the usual heater pipe in the V, which means the supercharger and the inlet manifold and all have to come off. But other than that, in the years that I've had it, that's the only trouble.
So if the Carlton is sort of your favourite out of the classic cars, this is an occasion car.
Yeah.
You would only take it out on the good weather, on a nice day.
There's no point in taking this out if the road's even damp. It just lights up like a Christmas tree because of the wheel spin, It's just, it's...
Does it catch you off guard quite quickly?
It would do very easily, yeah. You need to be very gentle on the throttle on a wet day and things like that. Like, you can't drive it in the wet. It's not, it's an all-weather car, but it's not as enjoyable because you're always waiting for the back to snap,
So, for a bit of history, if I remember correctly, the previous gen, the XK8, that was based on another Jaguar. What sort of Jaguar was that?
It was the XJS,
okay.
Which was the car supposed to replace the E-Type.
Yeah.
The Aston Martin DB7 was based on the same chassis as well.
Okay. And then when they came to this, I think they did a whole new chassis and I think a whole new engine, am I right in saying?
Well, the 4.2 was out before in the S-Type, but the chassis is, again, basically it's an Aston Martin.
Okay.
They're designed by Ian Callum. It's all aluminium and plastic. There's no steel in the chassis at all.
Oh, very good. I'll be honest, I prefer the looks of this compared to the Aston Martin that this was to compete against.
Yes.
What was it? Was it the DBS?
No, the Aston Martin Vantage. The Vantage V8. But the Vantage V8 isn't supercharged. It's a smaller capacity engine. And I took one for a test drive first, and I didn't like it. The difference with the Vantage is the doors come up sort of diagonally. It's not quite like a Lamborghini, but they do come up as you open the door out.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. It was a manual, which I would have preferred, but it was very notchy. I just didn't like the feel of the car, and I took this for a drive and fell in love with it immediately.
I saw it was revving there, and then it took a while for the power to really kick in.
Oh yeah. Basically, it's a VTEC engine. She's a 4-cam, but she's what do you call it? She's VTEC effectively.
What would be your favourite bits about the Jaguar?
It's designed by Ian Callum, the same guy who designed the Astons, the good Astons. Astons have lost their way now. I think they're ugly. Yeah. But when he designed them, they were beautiful. It's a Vantage with a bit more powerful Jaguar engine in it. And as I say about the Aston, and obviously these are the same, it's sex on wheels. I just think it's the most beautiful looking thing. It's a good looking car.
I love the side profile of it.
Yeah, that is a good looking car. As Clarkson, when he did them, he said, he says, could I get out of this and walk away and buy a Porsche or a Mercedes or a BMW? And he says, I don't think I could.
Yeah.
He said, it is stunning, and it has the low nose. And that's one of the quirky things about it. It's actually got in below the back of the bonnet here. The bonnet lifts flat that way, but in below the back of the bonnet there's an airbag on each side, which senses a pedestrian collision and brings the bonnet up to the legal requirement, so as people don't go through the windscreen.
That must have been very high tech for the time, because
yes, that's how they kept the nose so low. They were pretty much the first to do that. So it was. And it has all the usual equipment of airbags and all, and ABS and traction control and all the electronic assistance, which you do not turn off.
Didn't Clarkson say that?
Yes.
Don't turn it off.
Yes. What he said was, when he first tested the XKR, he said that if you turn off the traction control, it does the same as Mercedes, BMW. It turns off about 40%. He says, but they don't tell you if you hold the button for 10 seconds, it turns everything off. But for the love of God, don't. And that was his words. He says it'll have you over the hedge as quick as look at it. He says just don't do it. Listen. That's the blipping and the downshift.
Oh, that is nice, yes.
Takes me back to the days in minis when you'd heel and toe it. Something which you don't even know what I'm talking about.
What are you on about?
You brake with your toe and you blip the throttle going down the gears with your heel and right foot. So your right foot's doing 2 pedals.
Yeah. Since you love this car so much, would there be anything you wish Jaguar did differently?
Not really, no. I don't want any more power. Make it more economical.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't do many miles. Like I've had it since 2018. Sorry, so I've had it 7 years. It doesn't do many miles. The only thing about them is if you let them sit for more than 2 weeks, they flatten the battery. So I have a solar charger that I'll plug in if it's sitting. You know.
I mean, that's an easy solution to a problem.
Yeah, but when you're paying over £100 for a battery, you know, and I've just put a new one in her, you know. But you know, she is. The headlights are a problem on them. I've already replaced them, you know. I would rather should have had LEDs instead of xenons, but the LEDs weren't out in those days. And the LED bulb put out that much heat, it melts the wires inside the sealed unit. So you have to go and spend £1,500 a piece on new headlights, which she's got 2 new headlights on her. Yeah. You know, so that's about it.
If you were able to get a manual with this, would you have personally wanted a manual?
I wanted the floppy paddle. This was the reason. I'd never driven a floppy paddle before. That's why I went just to take this for a test drive.
Okay.
And it was pretty sad circumstances. One of my colleagues I was working with in Singapore, a young fella, married with Wayne's, 5, 3 and 6 months. And he went home to America for Independence Day.
Yeah.
And died of a brain hemorrhage, brain tumour. And the wife said to me, she says, if you want one, buy it. You only here for so long. And that was the reason I bought this.
Fair enough.
Quite sad circumstances, but it was quite awful, you know, what happened.
So what would be the quirks and features?
Well, it has all the stuff expected, like headlamp washers and traction control and all that sort of stuff. But it has a very bad infotainment system, which, as you say, was out of date before it even came out. But the things that I like about it is it blips in the downshift, which makes you sound as though you really know what you're doing. And it's got an active exhaust. So basically it deletes the back muffler above 1900 RPM, which is quite low. It does sound quite nice. The original one, which I had, the 4-litre previous model, was as silent as an angel's fart. You couldn't even hear it. It was, you know, it was a 4-litre V8, and you couldn't hear it. It was, you know, it was a Jaguar. You know, it was an old man's car. That's not an old man's car. It also has an ASL button, an automatic speed limiter.
Very interesting. It's in a weird position.
Yeah, it's beside the gear stick. It limits for going downhill and all. It stops your cruise control running too far. But in doing it, you turn off the cruise control, so I don't see the point. I've got a brake pedal, you know.
So what is it? Hill descent, basically?
Yeah, well, it's not hill descent. It limits your top speed. So if you're in a speed limit, you can set it like it's cruise control to 30 mile an hour, and she will not exceed 30 mile an hour. Whereas in cruise control, if you go down a hill, she will exceed 30 mile an hour.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I get it. Now it's time to rate the car. So, for Future Classic, we've given it a 9. For Daily, we've given it a 5. For Wallet Hurt, we've given it a 4. And for Fun, we've given it another 9. So the total is 27 out of 40, which is 67.5%. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow our vlog channel, link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.